So, okay, I've did a little bit of changes. Some of the UI, actually none of the UI is working right now. We're going to cover that on a later video. I want to keep working a bit on a few other systems. Okay, so ignore the UI for now. But we are going to make the mouse follower to actually follow the mouse and update the action points we see over here. So in this part, we're going to actually do we're going to create the system basically for the characters that are going to hold on stats for those characters, from which later on we're going to calculate things, for example, how many action points you have. Okay, for now they're going to just be simple variables. Later on we're going to do a lot more advanced things. So I'm just going to create a list over here, a script which I'm going to call character. Let's open it up. So let's add namespaces, and it's going to go under characters. Delete all of this, and this is now going to be an actual scriptable object, because we would like to have some basically because we would like to have some persistent data for each character, which we will also take into account and then later use later use them for anything else we might want to do. So let's say menu name characters character. For now, what we're going to do for this is we're going to say, well, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just say, let's say we have an integer called agility, and let's set it to 25 or maybe 10. We're just going to say that one tile equals one move, okay, in this case. Now we're going to have another integer which is going to say starting, or let's say starting action points, and it's just going to be a getter from, and for now it's just going to return the agility exactly as it has over here. Okay, and okay, let's do it like this. Other things that we can have over here, and in reality we won't actually use simple variables like this. We're going to make this a lot more dynamic, so if you want to remove and add more stats and stuff like that and do calculations based on stats, we're going to affect all of this. So here's what we're going to say. We're going to do, we can say over here string character name, full name, or you can break it up if you want to. Then you can also have the portrait and so on and so on. But for right now I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to keep this for now, and this will be the template for all our characters. Now onto the grid character, however, we're going to come in here and we're going to assign a character as, from the characters of course, as the actual character. Okay, it's the reference that is going to assign the character. However, there's two ways we can do this. If we're going to have specific data per character, we can just keep it in here. Okay, otherwise, for example, enemies, we'll have to instance a new scriptable object for the character, because that way we will have to, because basically we don't want any character to be taking information from the base template. That will be the character sheet. But if somebody upgrades, if somebody levels up, we want to update that sheet. Okay, we'll hold on for that later. Right now I'm just going to say public integer character action, or let's just say action points left, or simply action points. Now whenever we start again the turn, we're going to have a method which is going to say on start turn. So what happens when the player first starts his turn? Okay, for now we're all going to say action points equals character dot get dot action points, starting action points. Okay, so basically, yeah, this is an integer. Let's see, why are you complaining? Oh yeah, it's a getter, not a method. So now that we have this, we are going to have to add a new phase in this time, which all it's going to do is going to be running through each of the characters we have on our player owner, and it's going to basically run this run the onStart method. Then let's go do this. And of course this phase won't be just for us, it will also be for the enemies, it will also be for, well, clients. Okay, clients don't really matter that much, but if you want to have it as authoritative, then you might have to do that. So idle phase, and let's go down here. I'm going to create a class. I should probably create a template for this, but anyway. So we're going to say turn start phase. Delete that, add the namespace. This is going to be a phase, and we implement it. Okay, so whether do this inside is complete and return true or inside on start phase, doesn't matter. Everything going to work just fine. So let's say return true, and for this we're going to say for turn dot player dot characters dot count, or let's turn this into a for each, just so it's easier to write. For each greet character in turn player characters c dot on start turn. Okay, now on to our player state manager. We have a new, actually no, because it's a phase, we need to add this right onto our phases. So that means we're going to have to create it as an actual as an actual basically asset. Let's see, start phase. And there we go. Let's start doing that, otherwise we're going to forget soon enough. I always find that happening. So data, let's minimize that. Phases, create phases, turn start phase. So basically this updates is going to go and update everything that we're going to add over there. Then on the player turn, we're going to create a new phase and just add the turn state phase. Okay, awesome. Now let's say we have let's say we also want to update this, and for that to happen I'm going to add, do we have an update UI property updater? Yeah, that's not going to work like this. I think we're going to have to create or do we have the event editor, events, conditional event, object state, delayed event, game event. Okay, we have the comparisons, we have assigns, let's see, UI text. Update text. So, it comes from a string variable. So that's, yeah, we're going to have to update this a little bit, or we'll do it differently. Okay, so I'm going to create two new variables over here, and one is going to be a string variable, which is going to be action points text, and another one which is going to be action points integer. Okay, then on the update text, I'm going to take this and I'm going to say action points text on the string variable. The text itself is going to be this one down here. Okay, and we're going to be taking everything we have on the text and just updates this over here, but it does need a game event in this case. So we're going to need an event for this, a game event, which now it's going to be update action point text. So on the mouse follower, let's go down here and let's say for this update action points text. Now, whenever we select a character, and let's find how we do this, we are doing it via I think we have an interface, yeah, and we're basically doing this on detect mouse, or well, handle mouse. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, it's down here. Okay, when we select a character, on highlight, it does that, and okay, on select. So we're going to go on to, yeah, this has, I think on the state manager we keep the variables, aren't we? No, let's check the decision manager then. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to add this over here, to be honest. And for this, we can just add the entire variable holder. So let's do a public variables holder, game variables. And then on the detect mouse position, we can, access those variables. So let's go back to the decision manager. On the variables holder, we have all our scriptables. Let's add some more. For example, we want to add the action, an integer variable, which is under the scriptable object library, for action points integer, and we also want string variable for action points text. Now, because we have both of this, we can just create a method that will update both, and I'm going to say public void update action points, and it's going to come as an integer, action points. We also need the event, but for the events I'm going to create a header first. I'm going to say game events, then game event, we want the update action, or just update AP. So we have our action points integer, and we're going to be saying value is the AP action points text dot value AP to string. Yeah, actually, let's remove the action points integer. We don't need it, I'm guessing. So let's say update the action points like this. Okay, which means back to the detect mouse position. When we are selecting a character, we can say sm variables or game variables update action points n dot character dot action points. Okay, so with this we're going to update the mouse follower. It actually doesn't follow the mouse right away, so it's just going to update the value you see over here. Let's save that and let's go and set all this up, because we do kind of need to create a few things right now. For example, on the session manager, we're going to have to assign the game variables. Okay, then on the game variables themselves, let's unlock. This is unlocked. We're going to have to assign the action points text and the update action points event. Let's delete the action points integer just so that we know we're doing this, and let's hit play. And actually we need a character first, that's why we got this. So on data, create a new folder which we're going to call characters. Create characters, create a character. Let's call him player 1 or whatever, or let's say character 1. Okay, it just has agility. Actually, let's set this to 5, so we don't have a lot of, when we start calculating the action points, we don't have a lot of tiles to go to, just to see if it's walkable or not. So let's find both of these guys, both of these players, and assign a character. For this, it doesn't matter, it's not two-way communication, so we won't be able to change right now the agility, so it's not really doesn't really matter for what we do now. Anyway, let's hit play, and when we select this, you can see that it updates the action points on the mouse follower to 5. Okay, it's right on the center. Then let's create the actual mouse follower, and for this we can just create a script that it just works all the time, since we don't really care what we're doing this. But what I'm going to change is I'm going to remove this from being a raycast target. Okay, because we're definitely going to forget it later. I'm just going to create a new script which I'm going to say mouse follower. Later we're going to have to assign a bit more logic to this depending on the stage we are in, but for now this can just be as simple as let's delete all of that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, if we just do transform dot position equals input dot mouse position, that it's going to force this, or it might have been the anchor position. Let's see, don't remember. It's the simple scripts that I'm usually forgetting, like if it takes you 1 second to create something, yeah, as like this. Okay, we have a mouse follower, we select and we move, so on and so on. Of course, if you haven't selected somebody, it's not really going to update, it shouldn't really be showing any action points. And of course, over here we don't really change anything. Now let's finish with this part here, and on the next one we're actually going to start adding the action points as they should be. So as always, you know what to do. like, subscribe, and if you like to see more stuff like this, of course, consider supporting me on Patreon so we can keep making all of these things. I'll see you on the next one.